Today I'm going to show you how I went from this to this, all using Substance Designer, fully procedural texturing. So this is how I made the burger texture in Substance Designer, and I like Designer because it's procedural and it's usually used for tileable textures that you can then apply in Substance Painter, but I found a way to apply them directly in Designer and not have to use Substance Painter at all. And I like that as I'm a coder. I come from a coding background. I like having it be procedural as opposed to painting because I just have a mouse and not a tablet. So you can see here, we start by taking this mesh here, the burger mesh, baking the UVs to SVG. So you can see there's different UVs and these are the UV islands. And then we use a curve to isolate separate UV islands. And these are the buns right here. Then we use a distance and then level it, just cap it off just to give it a little edge just in case. Pixel rounding, there aren't any black pixels on the edges. See, we have the patty here, we have the lettuce, we have the tomato, and clean UV unwrapping is really important for this part. You can see the UV seams are here, but they correspond to separate objects like the bun or the burger, so it's not too much of an issue. And then you can see we have different ones here, and then from there we can apply effects like edge detection to add some ambient occlusion. We can add some other effects to add shadows, painted in shadows, or on the case of the burger, we can add this like lighter kind of rim right here, which we have up here. And then we can also add, since it's a flat surface, you can add, because it's UV unwrapped, you can add other shapes or other things to texture it. And I made a little seed. It's not perfect, but it's like a little sesame seed or whatever that's on burgers, and you can see that here, and that's added to the normal map. And then all these are combined. It's a little messy right now, but it's just more proof of concept into this material. You can see we have bun with these nice seeds. We have the burger with a little bit of texture to it, very shiny tomato, and then we have some lettuce sticking out here. And that creates these 4 maps, or 3 maps. We have the normal, which you can see the seeds have normal, and the burger has some roughness, and the lettuce and the tomato are pretty smooth, and we have roughness. Tomato's going to be shinier, burger's going to be a little shinier. Bun still has a little bit of shine, but not too much. So that's an overview in Designer of how to completely texture a model without having to use Painter with clean UV unwrapping. And this is why clean UV unwrapping is so important. We can take the separate objects, or what we want to have, essentially separate textures, and we can put UV seams there. That way there's not a seam across an area that's important. Like if we were to have a seam, say, along this line, that wouldn't be very good because then you would see visually a seam and the texture would be distorted. However, if we have it along this line where it is, the red right there, it isn't too much of an issue because the burger and the patty are or the bun and the patty are essentially separate objects. So it's fine to have a seam with a hard edge there. And you can see on the left here, if we tab into edit mode, you can see our UVs. The buns are very clearly separate objects, and we have a ring for each one of these. And that way we can just apply a separate texture to each one, and they're essentially flattened objects. So then we can apply a flat Substance Designer texture, and it can correctly map to this burger in 3D, and it looks nice. And here's the final rendered result. And you can see we have this nice texturing. Still has a little bit of a hard, you can still see the UV seams, but they're not too much of an issue. If you really wanted to, you could go into Blender or Substance Painter and use a clone brush or something to soften that edge and do a little bit of manual painting, but I think it looks pretty good as it is now. And that's how you completely texture a 3D object in Substance Designer only. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a full tutorial where I explain all the details of this process. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.